So let's just start with your reaction to the People magazine report that we actually might get some arrests in the death of Matthew Perry.
To be honest, I'm a little surprised. The death has been ruled an accident. Ketamine is not illegal. It is used off-label for mental health uses. In fact, Matthew Perry was being prescribed and going through ketamine therapy during his recovery. It is not considered a violation of somebody's recovery to undergo ketamine therapy under a doctor's orders, but that is not what was in his system when he died. He had last had his ketamine infusion many days before his death, and it only stays in your body for a few hours. So we know he procured the drug somehow from somebody. And clearly, police, the sheriff's office, the DEA have investigated and believe that they have a case against several people, is what the reporting is thus far, to press charges against them, which is great. But, I loved your opening, but Ashleigh, more than 100,000 Americans die every year from drug overdoses in this country. And I would venture to say very, very few of the people who sold them those drugs are ever prosecuted.
So that was my point of doing this whole setup with all these very big, shiny celebrity names, that we are starting to see some very big prison sentences. And I don't know if that's trickling down into the non-celebrity names, but are we at a point, Elizabeth, in this culture in America where we're saying enough is enough? We have had it with the fentanyl deaths. We have had it with the dealers running the show, that maybe we're going to start actually bringing down the hammer and putting people away for over a decade. And I'm not sure if it's going to make them think twice or not, but are we at least changing how we look at drug overdoses?
I sure hope so. I mean, listen. Fentanyl is a scourge in this country right now. And we know that the drug cartels are making fentanyl with the help of the Chinese government, which is quietly rewarding pharmaceutical companies to make the precursors and ship them over to the cartels to press pills, and then fled the southern border with these pills. This is a huge issue in this country because it's touched so many people. Nearly everybody has someone in their family or somebody that they know, somebody they work with who has struggled with drug addiction. And it's worth noting that many people, like Matthew Perry, become addicted to opioids initially by being prescribed painkillers for a legitimate, real purpose. Matthew had a jet ski accident in 1997. He was prescribed Percocet. He said he took his first Percocet and he was hooked. I just interviewed on my show 2 nights ago the mother of a woman, the mother of a young boy, a teenager who had major surgery his senior year in high school. They prescribed OxyContin as a pain reliever. She gave it to him. She administered the pills according to the dose. He became hooked. He spent the next 15 years in and out of rehabs and overdosed and died. She found his body on the bathroom floor. And she's now started a foundation to go into hospitals, so there are advocates to help people navigate, painkillers, and so that they don't get hooked. But the point is so many people in this country become hooked on opioids and eventually turn to illegal opioids like heroin or other drugs that then have fentanyl in them because they actually were prescribed by a doctor. We know that Matthew was given ketamine by a doctor. And obviously he liked the effects enough that he got it and procured it on his own and took it when he shouldn't have. It's worth noting, he didn't die of ketamine. He died because he took the ketamine and he was in a hot tub and he drowned. He lost consciousness and slipped underneath the surface of the water. The ketamine itself didn't kill him, but he had acute levels of it in his system when he died.
Going to be hard. Causation is big in the law, and if someone's going to go after people who prescribe or, supply illegally any kinds of drugs, it's going to be an uphill battle in that case.
Well,
real quickly, only have about 20 seconds left. But
I was going to say they might charge them with selling ketamine illegally, but I'm not sure they can charge him for the death because of the causality there, as you just pointed out.
And my mind always goes to felony murder. If you commit a felony and somebody dies, boom, you're on the hook. Okay, 20 seconds left. You did interview Matthew Perry less than a year before he died. Just quickly give me the feel for that conversation.
Boy, he was really, it was a very long conversation. I did it in front of a live audience. It's a podcast. I do a podcast, Heart of the Matter, for the partnership. Anybody can listen to the whole conversation. He was remarkably honest and candid about his fight with addiction. It is a harrowing story. He thinks $9 million on rehab. He was in and out of 15 different rehabs. He nearly died. A few years before I interviewed him. He was in the hospital after his colon burst. He really didn't want to be remembered for the actor on Friends, our friend Chandler. He wanted to be remembered as somebody who helped other people get clean and sober. And, he did that. There are actors who he helped get sober, like Hank Azaria. Even while Matthew was still relapsing, he was helping others get sober. He opened a sober house in Malibu. Listen, addiction is a cunning and baffling disease. It can get anybody. It crosses all socioeconomic lines, rich, poor, black, white, male, female.
Yeah.
You can really be hooked by this. And it got its grips in him, and it never let go, sadly.
I've had it in my family. I know what you're talking about. And I'm just so thankful that people like Matthew and you are so open about it. My executive producer, while you were mentioning this, just said if anybody's out there, they need to listen to Matthew Perrot's audiobook as well, because it's a phenomenal account. Really, like you said, very open and honest. Elizabeth Vargas, thank you so much. Be on the show more. Come on more often.
Oh, anytime. Anything for you, Ash.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.